Welcome to the Hiredgun podcast with your host, the Hiredgun. First, like, subscribe, share, y'all. How y'all doing, y'all? And leave a comment if you want. I'll get back to you on it as soon as I can. Cause I look at the comments. So I'm back, y'all. So, you know, um, I want to talk about some more wrestling, some stuff that I heard over the weekend. Talk about Jacob, because I talked about him yesterday, and how, you know, Jacob said it last week that that he acknowledges Roman Reigns, right? He doesn't acknowledge anybody else, Jimmy or Jay. Now, speaking of Jay, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to Jacob in a minute. Speaking of Jay, so maybe last week, yeah, it was last week or over the weekend. Carlton um, sent out a video. No, it wasn't Carlton. He talking to me and him talking about this, but nah, it was Josh. Josh sent in this video of a house show. Maybe it was an old house show. I'm not sure, but um, he sent in the video of the Usos and Jacob dancing, hyping the crowd up and everything. And people had a problem with that. Oh, this is what Jacob is doing now. But and I looked at that and I was like, first of all, it's a house show, right? And house shows, we see stuff they do at house shows that we won't see on TV. Like we won't. We won't see Jacob uh, getting the crowd hyped up. You know, like, well, at least not to Jay's music. But it was a house show. So that's just them having fun. You know. Now, if you want to say, oh, it's Ricky Carey, Ricky K. Oh, they've been doing that, dog. They've been doing it. So you usually got a problem, or you just complaining this to complain, man. At that point, But it was a house show, and then if it was old one, definitely. But then I put in there that I put in there like my 2 cents of saying, when the last time you seen Jay get the crowd hyped up since he joined back with the Bloodline? Right now, when I said this, he hasn't done it in a while. All right, when I said this, it wasn't Monday when he did it, and then he ran it back. But but for that to happen, they wanted him to do that because he was overseas, right? And an overseas crowd. Nah, I'm not saying it doesn't happen over here because it does happen over here, but the overseas crowd made Jay entrance elite. You know, a couple of years ago, no, not a couple of years ago, like a couple of weeks ago, you would say that the best entrance right now is Trick Williams, right? That's the best entrance, like period, right? But you know, it's still Jay. It's still Jay. Like Jay's first, Trick's second, and being overseas showed that because Jay enters is elite overseas. Period. Ain't nothing come close to that. Then it's Trick, and then whoever else. Alright, but you know he got the fans rowdy and everything and stuff. Alright, but back to Jacob. Jacob let it be known that he doesn't take orders from anybody besides Roman Reigns. And Roman wasn't there last night. Now he'll be back next week. But then again, they'll be back in the States next week too. Alright, then they going to the UK. Then they going to Saudi. Alright. Um but we see where this is going. Like Jacobs is not gonna listen to the Usos. Like he's not, unless Roman tells him to. Now he might do that. Now Friday, that ain't gonna happen. I mean Friday, Jacob probably won't. I mean even though Jacob is with him Friday, he's not gonna listen to him. He's not gonna help him. Now the matches that's happening Friday for King of the Ring. Now it can only be three people, in my opinion. I don't think Keith or Roy Chiefs is winning, but that'd be a surprise to me. And lately they've been doing that. You know, lately now I can see Jay winning and moving the story ahead. I can see LA Knight winning. So they give him mic time. They he's shooting with he's shooting with Bloodline, mainly Jay. All right, so like he's shooting with Jay. All right, he's calling out Roman Reigns. So you know, again, people can cancel each other out on these matches. Like who I want to win is Finn. I do. All right, but then we're making this a whole lot more about uh, Judgment Day because then if Finn wins, then what's gonna happen is Finn's gonna move up. I mean, um, Finn's gonna beat um Javon Evans. Boy, sorry, y'all. Javon Evans. Finn's gonna beat him if Finn moves on because the only thing that's stopping me from saying that LA Knight's gonna win or Jay's gonna win, then that means like the brackets are all raw people then, and this is it's just fuck SmackDown on the men's side. I mean the women's side too. It's all male. I mean it's all raw people. You know, I think Charlotte's gonna win that and make it a SmackDown person in there. So the only two SmackDown persons from the guys is Royce Keith and Finn. One of them got to win this. Right? I think what happens here is LA Knight and Jey Uso cancel each other out. Right? And then either Royce Keith is gonna win or Finn's gonna win. Now again, now if the game plan was now the only thing I don't like about Finn winning, if the game plan and the reason for moving Finn over from Raw to SmackDown was to keep him away from Dom and JD, then Finn can't win. Finn can't win then if that's the case. You know, right? So it may have to be Royce Keith who wins because but that's just I don't know like I've been running about this tournament since day one. So who knows what's gonna happen? But we could get Finn against Dom in the finals. Because again, Oprah's not winning. It's not happening. And, you know, let me say something with John Evans right quick. I can see him going heel. I can see him going heel because of the fact that he's getting these heel tactics that's happening. You know, like, 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 since last week, since 2 weeks ago, he lost the IC title match he had. He got mad about it. He had to apologize. All right, he won his match this week, and then he went on Twitter, and it was like, oh, don't be a fan now if you wasn't a fan before. You know, like heal this stuff. Still heal this stuff right now. Which is nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, like I notice it more and more that he's doing that. I notice the more that he's doing that, like he's getting these heelish tactics right now. Um, oh yeah. Oh, Peter Parker attacked not the dojo. Ooh, boy, all right. A lot of people talking today. Netflix was trying to block. Only trying to see some. Oh, you know, one of the things I hate to see is what's happening with Conan. So Conan's with Triple A, right? But you haven't seen him because he's been sick. He had one of his legs amputated a couple months ago. Now he got the other one amputated recently. That's some sad stuff to hear, man. It really is. It really, really is. Um, Hold on, y'all. I'm trying to see what the fuck just happened. There were some releases over the weekend with Steve Macklin. Now, you know, okay, okay, I can lead in with this too. You know, I thought Steve Macklin was gone regardless, right? Because when they had those briefcases and he drew the briefcase that got him fired, I thought he was gone then, but he wasn't. He had a title match. He had a feud with Mike Santana for a little while. He got injured, like he got concussed after that, and then he ended up damn, yo, staying, and now he asked for his release. Now, let me say this about him: when he was gone the first time, was leaving the first time, he made and he came back, like he made it very clear that he was still under the same contract he was on before. He didn't sign a new contract, right? And then he asked for his release, right? And they granted it to him. Now somebody else, I forgot the shit's name, but so they say they say that he's gonna be going to either AEW or WWE. If he goes to AEW, he's going because his wife is there, right? Now he might not go there because how his wife is getting treated. I mean, and some people might say, oh, but she's a pure RH pure champion, but she never defends that belt, right? And she's never on the show on a regular basis, right? Well, she has a title, right? And she's did like so. Steve Macklin loves TNA because of the fact that he was frustrated with booking and career differences. Now I got news for Steve Macklin, right? His wife says the same thing about um his wife says the same thing about TNA. Okay, same thing. Like she's frustrated with the creative differences, and how she's being used, So him going there might be a problem. Okay, so then if he goes to WWE, it might be a problem there too. Because I'm pretty sure Macklin's in his 40s. All right, and anybody who's not named Cody or CM Punk when they have somebody in their 40s or mid 40s, they doing what Matt Cardona, they're doing what Matt Cardona is doing right now, jobbing, putting young talent over. And as of late, WWE has been using main talent and pushing main talent more than anybody else right now. You know, look at the King of the Ring right now. Right? Like it's a bunch of main talent, like young main talent. Javon Evans, um, yeah, Javon Evans, Ova, Dom, all under 30. So, Steve Macklin, he's just gonna be in NXT for a little while, or like he's gonna get caught up to the main roster, and he's doing a job. Now, I'm not trying to shit on Macklin like that because of the fact that he did build himself a decent career after he got released from the E in the first place. He did. He did. He's a former TNA champion, right? And he's built like he can promo, and he's built a decent career after WWE. But if he goes back to WWE, he's gonna job to people. You know, and I get it. There's certain people who came back to the E that has a job like that. Cody, Drew, and CM Punk. Those are your three. Those are your three guys who went back and did the job. And it wasn't for them to put young talent over when they got signed back. All right. So there's that. But you got certain people who get that itch, and feel like they never got the treatment that they wanted, so they go back. So they go back, right? And they still don't get, on what they thought uh, they still don't get what they thought they deserved in the first place. That happens, right? That does happen. It's shitty. That's why I don't think Ziggler will ever just go back to WWE because they know he knows what they're gonna use him for. Look at Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona is signed by the company, and he has a bigger loss record than win record. Now, mind you, every time he loses, he does on Twitter, and he still puts himself over. Alright, I'm still ready. It didn't go my way, but I'm still ready. So, but like until they feel like, or if they feel like they can change him and build him, he's never going to be world champion. Let me just say that, man. And I don't think because and like the reason I say that, the only belt he hasn't won is the world champion. Okay, because he was IC champion for a cup of tea. He's been United States champion. He's been tag team champion. The only belt he hasn't had to be a Grand Slam is the WWE Championship. Either or, if we counting it like that. Either or. But that's not gonna happen. Like, listen, if we got a hard time giving Chad Gable a war title, that ain't happening for Mike Cardona or Steve Macklin. And I hate to say it like that, or with these two, right? But these are the guidelines, like the goals, like the guidelines that we're giving right now, for either one of them. And it's just a bigger totem pole when it comes to who's going to be champion. Right? I can give you several people who will be champion before those two, but maybe Macklin should go to New Japan because he gets a better right to go to New Japan and doing stuff over there and getting used better than either in AEW or WWE. And again, maybe he wants to be with his wife, so he goes to ROH and he has a decent career there. You know, because then he can get used better. Well, hopefully he get used better, and go from there. And go from there. But as far as just easing back to WWE, I mean, again, like maybe in the NXT. Now, let me move back to TNA before I go. What TNA needs to do is put their belts on people they don't have to worry about leaving and going back to the E or going to the E, because Leon Slater and Mike Santana are gone. Okay, now as of right now, Mike Santana is champion. Right, his contract is up in July. Right, now what TNA don't have to worry about is him going back to AEW. That shit ain't happening. Right, that shit ain't happening. He's not going. I don't know about Leon Slater, but Mike Santana is not going back to WWE. I mean, it's not going back to AEW. That ain't happening. All right, he's going to WWE. He is, right? So what TNA needs to do is put their belts on people for right now that you can have 2 to 3 years with and not worry about them leaving. Right? Well, Mike Santana, he's leaving. Well, Leon Slater, he's leaving. Now, they had the belt. I mean, they had a good contract with both of them. I mean, both of them signed long-term deals, like a year, 2 year deals, right? But both of them deals up in July, right? And what now? You got the X Division title on what's his name? Cedric Alexander, right? We don't gotta worry about him going back to the E. Like you don't right now. All right. So that's cool. All right, you got the other belt or one of the other belts, the international belt on Ali. Ali likes working with TNA right now, so you don't have to worry about him right now going back to the E, right? Which I can see that happening because he's been going long enough and he's been building up his career that he can go back. He can go back and he can have him a nice run, right? And then, like, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have to put that belt on either put that heavyweight title on Ziggler, cause you don't gotta worry about him going back to the E full time. You can put it on Moose if Moose don't ask for his release and get the itch to go to the E, because he can go to the E. He can. You put on Eric Gunn, he's not going nowhere. Eric Gunn's not going anywhere. Right? His days of going back to the E over with, because I think Eric Gunn likes the way he's at, and then plus Eric Gunn can travel to Canada and go to Make Believe and work there too. Right. So can Steve Macklin, by the way. Steve Macklin can probably go to Make Believe. And for those who don't know, Make Believe is a Canadian-based wrestling company that's run by Scott D'Amore, who used to be the chief for TNA, but they fired him. Which, some would say TNA would be in a better place if they still had Scott running things instead of Silver. But we won't know. Now, so, like, but TNA has to put their belts on people. They don't have to be worried about 6 months from now, 3 months from now, jumping ship. Because TNA had a real decent good roster. Not elite, I won't say that. Alright? Before they got this TV deal. And the problem is TNA didn't sign lock these boys down long enough and with some good money for them to stay. Because the Rascals went to AEW, Ace Austin went to AEW, Um, Jordan Grace went to WWE. Joe Hendry went to WWE. Um, and this is not me shitting on them because you do have wrestlers that you don't have to worry about them going somewhere. Eddie, Eddie's not going nowhere. Frank Kazarian's not going nowhere. Eric Gunn's not going nowhere. Like these are diehard. I don't know about Moose. I don't know about Moose because Moose he can get his foot in the door now with WWE now. Before he couldn't, you know. But he's been on the show a couple of times, NXT, a couple of times to let you know that he can get over there now. So there's that. Right? But they gotta put their belts on people that are not gonna jump ship because they never been to the E or they want to get on a bigger stage. Like you gotta put these belts on people that want to be there and want to build with them. Now, again, the E has a power just to buy them niggas out and go from there. You know, but they haven't done that. And they probably won't do it right now. All right, but they have the ability to buy them boys, and for what I'm hearing, like that could be the game plan. Cause it looked like Silver's like preparing for like Silver. That's the chief of TNA right now. All right, like it looks like TNA's trying to shift to a buyout. Because anybody who asks for their release, they grant it. You know. Oh, speaking of another release, so Aberfly, the redhead that was with Chelsea Green, right? She everybody like thought she got released, but she didn't, right? Because on the weekend she appeared on the show, a wrestling show to wrestle, right? And then later on that either Monday or Sunday she confirmed that she didn't get released, like her contract ran out, and she said and she decided to keep on going, and move on, and now she's out, and which is good for her because she wanted to move on and test the field, test that water, and go from there. Sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes you don't like how you're being used in the company, and you want to go out there in the indies and get out there and get your name back out there. Again, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's not. It's not. It's not. You know. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But I'm going to show with that. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. Make sure you leave a comment if you can. Make sure y'all watch wrestling. Make sure y'all watch E-Feds, New Breed. This is the Hiredgun podcast with the Hiredgun. Love you and God bless. I'm out.